Hello everyone and welcome back to the Perfect French with Dylan. Today I have a lesson that I wanted to do for a long time, a big recap on pronouns plus in what order to use them. I made you a free PDF to keep and review. You can download it on my website. The link is in the description box. Everything in this lesson is inspired from my French grammar book, the complete French grammar course. If you want to review or learn more grammar, it's a perfect way to start with it. So I will have all the info in the description box as well. So here is what we are going to see today. We are going to start with French subject pronouns, then the French direct object pronouns, then the French indirect object pronouns, then Y and En, and finally all the French pronouns together. I know that many of you struggle with the order of pronouns in French because, like I just showed you, we have quite a lot of them. So in this lesson, we are going to review all the rules and I'm going to give you plenty of tips to remember the specific order. But it will require a lot of practice. A great way to practice is with the online language learning platform Italki. Italki is an online learning platform where you can take personalized one-on-one lessons with native French-speaking teachers. No matter the time, there will always be a teacher for you. What I love about Italki is that it's just you and the teacher, so you can work on whatever you need. A specific rule maybe, like the order of pronouns, or maybe just a conversation where you can practice French pronouns as well. Anything you need. Italki has over 30,000 teachers to choose from, so to make it easier, they have a search feature where you can filter your search by lesson, category, or even where the teacher is from. Such an easy process to find the perfect teacher for you. The best thing about Italki is that you can pay for each lesson individually. So there's no subscription, no commitment, and lessons are priced from only $5. You also get 3 trial lessons, which are refundable if you are not satisfied with the lesson. I took a French lesson with Katia, where we talk about the most common problem French learners encounter. What type of lesson do you usually do with your French students?
Okay, so the focus of each class varies depending on the person. This means that my students have all completely different life situations, goals, learning paces, so I actually adjust my lessons to their needs.
So you can start your language learning journey now with the link below in the description and use the promo code DYLAN5 to get your $5 credit when you sign up for your first class. This code is good for the first 50 users when you purchase $10 or more. Thank you Italki for being the sponsor of this video, and now let's start with the French subject pronouns. I'm sure you know the French subject pronouns, but let's do a quick review. We have je, j', tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, ils, elles. French subject pronouns are always the first pronouns, so they can be at the beginning of a sentence or at the beginning of a clause. So, the beginning of a sentence, we have je mange, very easy, okay? Another one, je suis fatigué car je n'ai pas bien dormi. Je suis fatigué car je n'ai pas bien dormi. So here we have je, beginning of the sentence, and then we have je again at the beginning of a clause. Okay? French direct object and direct object pronoun. First, what is a direct object in French? A direct object is a noun or a group of words including a noun referring to people or things, usually placed directly after the verb. We can find it by asking the question qui, quoi, ou qui, quoi, ou qui. So, direct object with the question quoi. Je lis un livre. Je lis un livre. Je lis quoi? Un livre. Un livre is the direct object. Okay? Now a direct object with qui. Il appelle Ashley. Il appelle Ashley. Il appelle qui? Ashley. Ashley is the direct object. Now for the French direct object pronouns. A direct object can be replaced by a direct object pronouns. DOP. The direct object pronoun is always placed before the verb in French. So we have subject, which can be a pronoun, but it can also be something else. Direct object pronoun, and then the verb. The direct object pronoun replaces the direct object when the object is known in the conversation. It avoids repetition, especially when answering a question, including a direct object. Okay? A direct object is used with a verb not following by the preposition a or de, such as appeler quelqu'un, lire quelque chose, manger quelque chose, regarder quelque chose, quelqu'un. If I have time between the moment I film this video and the moment I publish it, if I have time, I will make you a couple of blog posts with the list of verbs with no preposition, with the preposition a, and with the preposition de. If I have time, there will be something here on the screen. If not, that will be for another time. So, the French direct object pronouns are me, M apostrophe, te, T apostrophe, le, L apostrophe, la, L apostrophe, nous, vous, les. So let's look back at the two examples that we saw just before. Je lis un livre. We established that un livre is the direct object. Un livre, which can be replaced by a direct object pronoun. So the direct object pronoun in this case is going to be le, okay? Je le lis. The pronouns in French goes before the verb, while in English it goes after the verb. I am reading it. In French it goes before the verb. Je le lis. The second one, il appelle Ashley. We saw that Ashley is a direct object, so we replaced it by la, but because appelle starts with vowel, we are going to have L apostrophe. Il l'appelle. Il l'appelle. Okay? We do have a specific rule in French with French direct object pronouns and the passé composé. It's a strange rule in French that the past participle of a verb conjugated in the passé composé with avoir agrees in gender and number with the direct object if the direct object is placed before the verb. Okay, it's a handful. So basically, when the direct object pronoun goes before the verb, the past participle will take the gender and number of the pronoun. It's a lot of words. Let's see a couple of examples. It's going to be much easier to understand. J'ai commandé un thé. J'ai commandé un thé. Un thé is masculine singular. So we are going to replace it with le. L apostrophe in this case. Je l'ai commandé. Je l'ai commandé. In this first example, un thé is singular masculine, as I said. Therefore, nothing changes. The past participle stay et at the end because, like I said, nothing changed. If we double the T's, now we order two T's. J'ai commandé deux thés. Deux thés can be replaced by les. Okay? Je les ai commandés. Now we are going to add S at commandé. Je les ai commandés. That's because it's masculine plural. Now if we order an ice cream, j'ai commandé une glace. J'ai commandé une glace. Je l'ai commandé. This time, because glace is feminine singular, we are going to add e at commandé. Je l'ai commandé. Now what if we order two ice cream? J'ai commandé deux glaces. Okay? Je les ai commandées et ES. Here we add ES. That's one of those rules that take a little bit to get used to it, but it's one of those things. The good news is that the past participle of verbs conjugated with avoir never agrees with other pronouns. Only the direct object pronouns. So we have done with this rule already. Now let's have a look at the French indirect object and indirect object pronouns. What is an indirect object in French? An indirect object is usually preceded by the preposition a this time. Like I said, might have a blog post if I have time, but with my new books coming up, I'm not too sure, but I might have one. If so, just go check it out. So, and it's used for people. This time it's for people. Remember, the direct object were also for things. This time it's for people. We find it by asking the question à qui, because the verbs take the preposition à. Do you remember? À qui. The indirect object can be placed after the verb or after the direct object. It's found by asking the indirect question à qui. Most of the time, the indirect object starts with a, but it can also have different forms. So to make it simple, verbs taking the preposition a are the one using an indirect object. But for people, okay, such as acheter à quelqu'un. Not acheter quelqu'un, not buying someone, okay, acheter à quelqu'un. Donner à quelqu'un. Téléphoner à quelqu'un. I know that preposition in French, especially à and de, can be very confusing because a lot of people think the preposition goes with what comes after the verb. But the preposition goes with the verb before it. So acheter à, donner à, téléphoner à. It's always with what comes before, okay? Before, it's a group. Téléphoner à is a group, okay? Don't change it. So let's see. Je donne un cadeau à Jean. Je donne un cadeau à Jean. Je donne un cadeau à qui? À Jean. À Jean is the indirect object. Elle téléphone à ses parents. Elle téléphone à ses parents. Elle téléphone à qui? À ses parents. Okay? À ses parents is the indirect object. So now the indirect object pronouns. The indirect object pronouns replace the indirect object when the object is known in the conversation. They are me, M apostrophe, te, T apostrophe, lui, nous, vous, leur. Let's see a couple of examples with the same sentence. So here we are going to use the verb parler à quelqu'un. Elle me parle. Elle te parle. Elle lui parle. Elle nous parle. Elle vous parle. Elle leur parle. Okay? Always before the verb. If anybody counted how many times I said okay in this video, just let me know in the comments. So now, the French pronoun Y. Y is a pronoun used to replace an object indicating a place or a thing. Like the other pronoun we saw, it has to be placed before the verb. So let's start with Y to replace places. For places, we will mostly use Y to replace the following preposition. À, but, for places. Not for people, for places. En, dans, and the famous chez, of course. Subject, Y, verb. Remember, always before the verb. On est au magasin. On est au magasin. Like I said, A can have different form. Here it's O. On est au magasin. Au magasin can be replaced by Y, so on y est. On y est. Je vais en France ce week-end. Je vais en France ce week-end. J'y vais ce week-end. J'y vais ce week-end. Est-ce qu'il est dans sa chambre? Est-ce qu'il est dans sa chambre? Oui, il y est. Here we reply to the question. Oui, il y est. Elle est chez le docteur. Elle est chez le docteur. Elle y est. Elle y est. Make sense? That's for places. Now, Y to replace things. For things, we'll mostly use Y to replace a noun introduced by A, which can also be O, A, L apostrophe, or à la. Once again, think of verb taking the preposition à. I really hope I made the blog post. À, but not for people. We have penser à. Je pense à mes vacances. Je pense à mes vacances. À mes vacances will be replaced by Y. J'y pense. J'y pense. Réfléchir à. Réfléchir à. Je vais réfléchir à cela. Je vais réfléchir à cela. Je vais y réfléchir. Je vais y réfléchir. Here it's between the two verbs because the main verb is réfléchir. I can come back on that if you need me to. Last one, s'intéresser à. S'intéresser à. Je m'intéresse à la peinture. Je m'intéresse à la peinture. Je m'y intéresse. Je m'y intéresse. If you need me to come back on something, I can totally make another video about it, but I'm going quite fast today because we have a lot to see with all the different pronouns, okay? Another okay. So, now, the French pronoun, en. En is a pronoun, obviously, and is used to replace an object, including the preposition de this time, and expression of quantity. Expression of quantity are likely to include a partitive article such as de, du, de la, des, etc. Subject, en, verb. Est-ce que tu as du lait? Du lait is what we are going to replace with en. Oui, j'en ai. Oui, j'en ai. Elle boit de l'eau. Elle boit de l'eau. Elle en boit. Elle en boit. Tu as beaucoup d'argent. Tu as beaucoup d'argent. D'argent this time. Tu en as beaucoup. We keep beaucoup. Tu en as beaucoup. We keep the reference of quantity here. Same for j'ai deux verres. J'ai deux verres. We are going to replace verre, but we keep deux. J'en ai deux. J'en ai deux. Okay? So a few verbs taking en, we have avoir besoin de. J'ai besoin de temps. J'en ai besoin. J'en ai besoin. Avoir envie de. Elle a envie de chocolat. Elle a envie de chocolat. Elle en a envie. Elle en a envie. Parler de. Elle parle de ses recettes. Elle parle de ses recettes. Elle en parle. Elle en parle. That's all the pronouns we needed to review. Now the French pronouns together. And first, we have to look back at the direct and indirect object pronouns, but this time side by side. So for the direct object pronoun, we have me, M apostrophe, te, T apostrophe, le, L apostrophe, la, L apostrophe, nous, vous, les. And then the indirect object pronoun, we have me, M apostrophe, te, T apostrophe, lui, nous, vous, leur. Do you notice something? Only 3 lines are different. So me, te, nous, vous stay the same. Only le, la, les, and lui, leur change. That's it. And this is important for what order to use them. We have 5 different spots for the orders. And it seems a lot, but remember that we are not going to use 5 different pronouns in the same sentence. It does not happen. With 2 pronouns usually, and sometimes a subject pronoun. So maximum 3, that's it. We're not going to have 5, don't worry about it. So in first, we are going to have me, te, or me, M apostrophe, te, T apostrophe, nous, and vous. in second place, we're going to have le, L apostrophe, la, L apostrophe, and les. Then we are going to have lui, leur, and then we are going to have y, and then we are going to have en. Since a lot of them are the same, knowing in what order to use them only require 3 steps and the donkey rule. So a good way to remember it is the selfish rule, followed by the donkey rule. And trust me, you're never going to forget that. So first, on the first spot, we have me first. Me, te, nous, vous. Me first. Object second, we have le, la, les. Other people third. Other people third, okay? And then we have en, like a donkey. En. I told you, you're never going to forget that. So, once again, me first, me, te, nous, vous. Object second, le, la, les. Other people third, lui, leur, and then the donkey, en. Works every time. And remember, the most you can get is 3 pronouns, including a subject pronoun. Let's see 3 different cases. We are going to start with Elle lit une histoire à someone. She's reading a story to someone. So, if it's me, elle me lit une histoire. Une histoire can be changed into la, okay, that's a direct object pronoun. So here we have me and la. So me first, and then la, object second. Elle me la lit. Te, elle te lit une histoire, elle te la lit. Nous, elle nous lit une histoire, elle nous la lit. We're still in the first column here, okay? Vous, first column as well. Elle vous lit une histoire, elle vous la lit. Lui, elle lui lit une histoire. Here change, because object is first before other people. Elle la lui lit. Leur, elle leur lit une histoire, elle la leur lit. Okay? As long as you remember the rule of the selfish rule and the donkey, you're gonna be fine. Let's see another one. Je donne des oranges à someone. I'm giving oranges to someone. Je te donne des oranges. Des oranges can be changed into en. Je t'en donne. Je t'en donne. Je vous donne des oranges. Je vous en donne. Je lui donne des oranges. Je lui en donne. Je leur donne des oranges. Je leur en donne. Because en is always the end, because it's the 5th one, en, it's easy because it's always the last one, basically. Now with the pronoun y, we have je rejoins à Londres. I join in London. Je te rejoins à Londres. Je t'y rejoins. Okay? Y is also one of the last one, so pretty easy as well. Je t'y rejoins. Je le rejoins à Londres. Je l'y rejoins. Je la rejoins à Londres. Je l'y rejoins. Je vous rejoins à Londres. Je vous y rejoins. Last one. Je les rejoins à Londres. Je les y rejoins. The last ones to see together are y and en. And they will only be used in sentences with il y a. There is, there are. Il y aura des cadeaux pour toi ce soir. Il y aura des cadeaux pour toi ce soir. Des cadeaux can be replaced by en. Il y en aura pour toi ce soir. Il y en aura pour toi ce soir. Remember the donkey rule. Il y en aura pour toi ce soir. So this en is not as usual in sentences. It's really mostly with il y a. So no need to worry too much about it. And that's it. Now you know all the pronouns that we use together and in what order to use them in French. This was quite a lesson that I actually have to film twice because the first time my microphone didn't work. So please, if you're still there, just leave me a comment saying c'était génial. It was great, so I can see who stayed until the end. Next week, and I'm very excited about that, it will be the first video of a new series, Ask a French Teacher, where I take all the questions I get in the comments and put them together in a video for everyone to know the answer. It's a little bit like a Q&A, but for very specific questions. People always ask great questions in the comments and I reply to everybody, but I think I should put that out there so more people can, have the answer as well. So if you have a question, please leave it in the comments, and you should check out the video I did last week, which was a spelling test. It was quite a nice one. I really enjoyed doing this one. And I will see you again next Wednesday. À mercredi prochain.